the lifelong has continued to be a very important bit of European economic and social policy. It's seen as something that can do both. But I'm talking about the international stage where this has come back onto the agenda in the last couple of years. Partly that's in the context of the Millennium Development Goals. The Millennium Development Goals run out in 2015. So world targets for development. One of the targets there is education for all, translated as universal primary education. And as we approach that target, well, one, it's been success, and two, it's been a failure. It's kind of glass half full, half empty. They've reached tens of millions of children who are out of school. But there's still, as they've reached those, they've realised that if you get children to primary school, the questions of what happens after primary school. Do they go into the world of work at 12 or 13? Well, if you've got an anti-child labour policy, that's not very easy. Do they go into secondary schooling? Oh, well, old-fashioned secondary schooling was very expensive. Can we find alternatives? So vocational keeps coming back on the policy agenda there as children move through schooling. But also it's failed in the sense that there's still 61 million, if we take the figure that's being used at the moment, young people who are not in schooling who should be. Well, what's there for them? And vocational, again, as in this country, vocational's for those people, so the ones that there's a problem with. So it's back on the policy agenda. Organisations like the World Bank and OECD getting involved. And this year, we've had the 3rd International Congress on Vocational Education Training, which was in Shanghai in May. Linked to that, a world report on technical vocational education training, which should be out in November. And a global monitoring report, which is a report that looks at education for all globally. This year's one is on skills for the first time, and that should also be out in November. So it's like buses, you wait for one world report on vocational education and training, and then 2 come along in the same month, which, given there hasn't been one for 20 years roughly, is quite a significant and fairly stupid, coming from one organisation, issue. That leads on then into my own involvement in this. I was one of the people lobbying for 1 or 2 of these reports, originally just a report to be commissioned, then was asked by UNESCO to lead the work on the world report, which is due out in November. So tomorrow is an editing day on trying to get that report finalised. But with the other report, the GMR report, I was leading, for the UK National Commission of UNESCO, I was leading the UK policy